NSC Fan TV. Drew, again here with Scott.
Yeah, we're here at the merch release party here downtown Nashville at Central Barbecue. We're going to have a review of the new kit. Drew got a New Jersey, and we'll do that in a little bit. But we wanted to talk about some other changes, some lineup changes.
Let's get technical.
Little technical. So, who are some major losses that we've had in the off season?
So we're going to go through just a few of the major departures. This isn't all of them.
Yeah.
These are at least ones I think are essential. And if Scott disagrees or finds somewhere, he can mention them. But so the biggest right off the bat is Johnston. And right back.
And how are we going to fill right back? That's the question.
I mean, that's a gaping hole that I'm not sure. I mean, those are big.
Taylor Washington.
Those are big boosts to fill.
Taylor Washington.
Taylor Washington is a possibility.
Maybe he's got the speed. But
big boost to fill because I think he was just running up and down that wing. Oh, it was insane. Yeah. I mean, he was from playing out of the back. If that's still on the table, which I'm not sure if it's still dogma.
I think it's a good dogma.
He's great for it.
Yeah,
because he hustles back.
Solid defender. He good with the offense. Great tackler.
He knows when to commit to. That's one thing I've noticed about watching him. He knows when to stick with his man, and then he knows when to go down if it's necessary. But so losing him is
losing Johnston. And whenever we see Montreal come through, you know who I'm going to cheer for whenever they call him out. I'm going to cheer for Alistair Johnston.
Johnston. It was always fearsome, right, as Americans watching him against us for Canada.
We called him every time he did something good. We even yell out, "Oh Canada!"
Oh Canada! Yeah, and I feel really bad for the people who got the huge larger than life size cut out of him.
Cut out of his head.
You can bring it to the Montreal games, I guess, and cheer for him. But
maybe
aside from that, yeah. So those are big shoes to fill.
Lost Johnston. I guess the other one is the big loss, and he's out. Is Cadiz?
His loans expired. He's back to Benfica, back to Portugal, and it's a big one, but
it's big in the sense that we get
a
designated player. He opens up another designated player slot.
So you're saying, are you in accord with me that it's not about what we lost, but what we gained by having him go? What we gained. Number 99.
99, yeah. So there was even a period of time where we weren't even saying his name, and that was maybe a little bit too strong.
That was maybe a bit. No, I don't think so.
But he was a designated player, and we tried to feed him, and he got plenty of time to be able to prove himself.
And he wanted to play as a true 11, right? So he would stick his tall self up in the front.
And it's great if he would stay on side. If you're going to play like that, stay on side.
You have to be on side.
If you're going to play like that, stay on side. And he didn't.
He never did. I mean, not consistently enough for it to matter.
Right.
It's like, I scored. It's like, you would have scored and it would have been great, but the flag is up, man. Flag is up. Okay, so we've got...
So those are the two biggies by my estimate.
Okay, I think I'm going to throw another in.
Okay.
Don Lonnie.
Yeah.
I think Don Lonnie, that's like a nice sub.
And he ended up at Colorado, is that right?
Colorado. That's correct. Colorado.
Ended up at Colorado, and I think I think that I'm also sad to see Jalil Anibaba leave.
I was in the back, so we've got Bod as a sub in the front, and then you got it in the back.
Yeah.
Anibaba.
Yeah. I was sad to see him leave. And Matt LaGrassa. I mean, this is in some ways the middle of the roster churn that we've been kind of promised with the kind of the money ball approach that NSC was going to have. The money ball approach. The middle of the roster gets churned, and so we kind of were promised that, and so that's what we're seeing.
It's panning out, and personally at least, I thought Anibaba was great for when Zimmerman was hurt.
Yeah,
hold things down.
It was a great fill-in.
I mean I'm not saying Zimmerman's injury prone or anything, knock on all the wood in the world, but I mean, if he does get injured,
he pulls that hammy again. You can go out.
If we have three in the back, who's going to be the central defender?
Right.
No, seriously.
Right. Now let's turn to our recruits.
Let's see what we've got.
So I think that Ahmed Lammemeyer is a good recruit. He's got size, he's got speed.
Yep.
He was an all Pac-12 player when he was at UCLA. He's a good player. He's a good player and someone who I think can step in. But he's got a lot of growing to do. He's coming into the MLS. He's got stuff. He's got to kind of grow into that job.
And from Atlanta,
You guys gonna come through? All right, you ready?
So I'm gonna talk about Bauer.
Okay.
Because Bauer coming in from Atlanta.
Bauer coming in from Atlanta.
He could fill that role too.
Yeah, I think that's right. So we got two new defenders.
So
And
we've
where
got
did-
some people.
And so I don't remember. So I have to say that I watched a lot of Atlanta games kind of closely. Don't really remember him, and I mean, and so it may be just because of the fact that like Robinson plays such a sort of a dominant game in the center for them. But I don't remember much of him, so I don't know what to expect.
I guess we'll find out because it's going to be one, if not both, depending on how we line up. If we stick with three in the back, then probably just one.
Yeah.
A sub.
But we're gonna need help.
We're gonna need help
because Dan's got maybe a handful more seasons, but he's gonna need some rest time.
Yeah.
Romney. He was the Iron Man, but then the wheels fell off, and so you don't know. Everyone can get injured. Anyone can be injured.
You never know.
And so we've got a great defense. We're building still, and recruiting with that in mind. But man, losing Johnston,
huge. I mean, it's huge. But we have a few more coming in.
Yes.
Who may be able to fill different spots. Right. So one who I think is pretty big is Teal Burnberry from New England.
Yeah.
Center forward coming in. I think that's going to add a bit of depth going forward, and that's the answer to Cadiz being not on the squad anymore.
And a veteran canny, a vet who's canny, right?
Who's been around the ringer, who knows their way around a pitch.
Yeah.
Then who's got experience in the MLS too. That's another thing because it's way different than what's going on in Portugal.
Right. And we have another forward with Nathan Zuback from Galaxy. And again, somebody who's kind of been around the league and knows some things. I think that adding some depth in the front is something that we want to, and just making it so that it's competitive, making it so that we've got options.
And we don't have to just rely on
don't have to rely on Hani and CJ to do everything.
Yeah. Especially because we've got CJ running until the brakes fall off at 70.
Well, that was the.
We'll see if he has to do that still.
Yeah, that was the problem. It's like, look, he's such a talented player, but man, I mean, every game we'd watch him press those defenses and just be a chaos creator in front.
But by minute 70, the brakes would fall off and really the gas would fall off.
Yeah, the gas tank would fall off.
Oh, God,
he's
brakes.
done.
Yeah.
He's done.
He would spend But speaking of new additions, right, and people who may be able to fill roles, and when people get tired, they come in. We've got from the New York Red Bulls, Sean Davis, central midfield,
famous for his mom's food Instagram channel too.
which I didn't know about until I was told, but I knew more about him.
She's very talented, but yeah, he's fantastic, and he's a leader, and so I think that he's clearly somebody. So I rewatched the Red Bulls game, our 1-1 tie with them, and the 35 second in Fabio goal. I was, by the way, away getting a beer.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I came back in. It was like 90 seconds in. It was like, are we already down?
No,
what the heck happened?
Down. That was insane.
But so he was part of the build-up for that.
No, yeah.
He's such a he's a canny player. He's a leader.
They've been in the leadership role too.
And I think
that's poaching him is actually so the way Red Bulls work is weird because they trade players around for pretty much all of their teams.
Yeah.
So it's like a conglomerate almost.
Right.
So taking him from them inadvertently affects pretty much all of the
Red Bulls exactly. Teams. It's like Red Bull Salzburg now can't have him either.
Sounds like we poached him. He's ours now. Yeah. And that was a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think that and so I think that overall I'm inclined to think that forwards upgrade.
Upgrade.
Sad,
Yeah.
sad to see Don Lottie go.
No, upgrade. Because
Okay with seeing Cadiz go.
99.
So in this regard, like that's a sort of, but two really positive additions. Midfield upgrade, because I think that the only loss that we had in the midfield was
we can
red
look.
hair, but LaGrassa. We lost LaGrassa out of the midfield.
Yeah.
But we got
Aside from him,
Davis.
that was it. Yeah,
And so I think that's an upgrade in the midfield.
Yeah.
Now we've got 3
Dax O'Cardi. Oh man.
Dax.
We got
at least another year from Dax.
at least another year from Dax.
Anibal.
Yeah.
And so we've got 2 veteran leaders on our side, and then you add in Davis. That's 3 veterans, all of high quality. And now we see. Hopefully, we can see Brian Anunga kind of grow into his own. He's got 3 good leaders, setting a good example.
Yeah. I think that I'm looking forward to it, especially Anunga.
Yeah, I really want to see him grow. I really want to see him
just
grow.
when I found out, because he's mid-20s, he's not even 30 yet. I mean,
he's got.
But he plays with the confidence of someone who's been on the pitch for a long time.
He's a great tackler.
He's a digger.
He's a digger. Yeah,
He's a digger. He digs. And
he's physical, and he's clearly got a good motor.
And now with Davis too, he might be a little too physical in the midfield. You know how the Red Bulls play, but
hey, you know what? We've got a deep midfield. They collect some yellows. They collect some yellows.
That's actually another virtue of having depth, is that you can collect the yellows, and it's just like, well, we've got a second string. It's almost as good as your first string.
That's right.
There's a saying in football that I don't think applies quite evenly to soccer, but it's that you're only as good as your second string.
Nice.
Because somebody's going to get hurt,
Someone's
going to be injured, and you're going to have to rely on them.
You have to get to the third quarter in football, and you've got somebody coming in. So I think so upgrade in the front, I think. Upgrade in midfield.
I think.
And then question mark in the back.
Especially with right back being gone.
And I think that we just are I have high hopes for Washington being able to step in and step up. The man has got such incredible speed. He's got such incredible speed. I'm hoping that he's able to sort of step into that role.
I think he could. I don't know, but I think he can.
Yeah,
I think we could see it.
And we can see some other folks kind of coming up. Maybe Bauer steps in and is able to contribute. And hopefully Longmire grows into the sort of the player that, like, he's one of those, you ever have like a puppy where you see the puppy's foot, and the puppy's foot, his paw is like really, really huge.
Oh, yeah.
Like Longmire is one of these guys where it's like you look at him, you're like, this is a puppy with a gigantic paw.
Just wait.
Is he going to grow into that paw?
Wait.
Are you going to grow into that paw?
He's going to grow into it. That's the first thing to develop. So you just wait. Wait.
We're going to see.
But I got one more thing to say before we go off on players. So Loba got a new number.
Yeah, we do need to discuss because he's no longer 72.
He's no longer 72. They gave him the number. They gave him the number. The number. He took it.
He's the 9. He's the 9.
Letting him get that number.
He's the 9. The 9.
Letting him get that number.
That right there is an act. That is an act of trust and faith.
That is insane.
That is an act of trust and faith. And you know what? Sometimes trust and faith gives back the things that you need and the things that you were trusting and having faith in.
You know, I don't know how much. You know, it's just like a ye of little faith moment. I'm the they of little.
So part of this is also kind of as from a teacher's perspective.
Okay.
I regularly find that even students that I'm like, but I'm like, okay, look, I'm going to give you free rein. Do something big over here. And sometimes it comes back garbage, but sometimes you're like, oh my gosh. You grew into something here.
Okay.
You became something new because you got given the space and given the expectation to do this. And that's what any of these moves are. But giving him the 9, he's going to be a starter. He's going to be a starter.
It's almost like he has to be the starter.
He has to be.
He has to be the starter. No, seriously. I mean, with the designated spot still, I mean, he has to be started. With how much we're paying,
Yeah.
with the number and the designated spot,
right.
that is nothing but commitment and trust.
I know too many other teams, and our Gunners in particular, that are willing to sit
on a player with a
giant dollar signs behind him. But
we're all if you know, you know.
Nickel Pappy.
Yep. I was thinking Uzil. Well, him too.
Oh, massive. But he had clear upsides. He did. Özil had the assist lead in 3 leagues.
That's true.
The BPL, the Bundesliga, and in the Spanish league.
Yeah.
Assist leader in 3 leagues.
That's how.
That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing.
Pepe has the Farmers.
He was great in the French.
He had Lille.
He was great in the French.
He had Lille, yeah.
He was great in the French. Well, so we maybe have got a little distance between us on Loba then.
I think so, because I still don't buy it. I
think that he's a player who's got clear upsides, and we just need to be patient. We'll see.
Clear upsides for their team. I'm sorry.
We will revisit this in June, and one of us gets to say, "I told you so."
One of us, or it could it's still really ambivalent. Maybe it's still.
You know what? No, if we're still ambivalent in June, then you get to say, "I told you so."
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so yours is the
no. My thought is that he's going to turn it around. We're going to give some trust in him. He's going to play 90.
But if he still hits mid after,
if we're hitting June, beginning of July, and he's not turned into the player that we were told to expect, then you get to say, "I told you so."
I won't be happy to do it, but
yeah, that's exactly it.
Maybe somebody else will feel good about it, but I won't. I mean, yeah. Anyway, that's all I have.
That's all I have. All right, NSC Fan TV here at the kit release party. Next episode is walking through the kit.
Walking through the kit.